Providing the seeds for 90% of the world's genetically modified crops, Monsanto is a world leader in industrial agriculture. Filmmaker Marie-Monique Robin exposes the company's troubling past in her recent film, The World According to Monsanto.
I've been working as a journalist for 25 years, and I'm a daughter of farmers in France. I have a big interest for agriculture. I made a lot of documentaries all over the world about this issue and about human rights. Monsanto is a question of agriculture right now and human rights.
There's nothing they're leaving untouched. The mustard, the okra, the brinjal, the rice. Once they have established the norm that seed can be owned as their property, royalties can be collected, we will depend on them for every seed we grow, of every crop we grow. If they control seed, they control food, they know it. It's more powerful than bombs. It's more powerful than guns. This is the best way to control the populations of the world.
Monsanto is now very big. It's the first seed company in the world. They bought up in the last 10 years about 50 seed companies, and they are the first leader in GMOs. I decided to make this documentary because, Monsanto is saying that GMOs are safe for consumers, safe for the environment, and I thought, my God, can we trust a company when it is saying that?
Monsanto's GMOs have invaded the planet, but no ag industry product in history has ever incited as much controversy and passion. Why? What's at stake with GMOs? And could the company's past shed some light on what the company is or claims to be today?
Monsanto has been created, at the beginning of the 20th century, exactly in 1901, in Missouri, in St. Louis. It used to be a very big chemical company, and they made very nice products like PCBs, for instance. What I could reveal is that Monsanto knew from the very beginning that these PCBs were very toxic, and that's so toxic that they are now forbidden, but Monsanto concealed the data. There is a very interesting internal file, which is declassified now, which says, "We can't afford to lose $1 of business." I think this sentence is a very good summary, of their practices.
Terry was my baby brother. He died in 1971 from a cancer of the brains, or a tumor of the brains, cancer of the lungs, and hurries of the heart. He was 16. In the last 3 years, I have lost more friends. They died from illnesses, cancer, sugar diabetes, hepatitis, all these different ailments that comes with PCBs, and they have been related to PCB.
They did the same with Agent Orange. Agent Orange is a defoliant, an herbicide used by the US Army during the Vietnam War. They used to spray the herbicide, in South Vietnam. And Monsanto knew that it was very dangerous, very toxic, because it contains dioxin. They not only concealed the data they had about this product, they manipulated a scientific study to hide, the link between Agent Orange exposure and cancer.
The story began in Nitro, in a Monsanto factory that produced a powerful herbicide called 2,4,5-T. In 1949, an explosion in the factory provoked unexpected side effects. 228 workers developed an extremely disfiguring illness caused by dioxin, which is a highly toxic byproduct of 2,4,5-T.
And one example more, maybe, because it's really the link between GMOs, Roundup. It's an herbicide sold everywhere in the world, and Monsanto always said it's biodegradable, it's good for environment. One lie more. It's not true.
Today, Roundup is sprayed all over Paraguay by plane or mechanical spreaders driven by unprotected farm workers.
It destroys the biodiversity of the countryside. It brings death, poverty, and illness, as well as the destruction of the natural resources that help us live.
The company has been convicted first in New York 10 years ago and last year in France for false advertising. It's not biodegradable, it's not good for the environment. And I have an interview of a scientist in France who made a study which showed that Roundup leads to the first steps of cancer. It's very important to understand that because 90% of GMOs grown in the fields belong to Monsanto. And 70% of the GMOs grown in the world have been manipulated to resist Roundup. The kern of my investigation is what is called the principle of substantial equivalence. What does it mean? It means it's a principle that a GMO is supposed to be similar to its conventional counterpart. This principle of substantial equivalence was not based on any scientific data. And the person who tells it in front of my camera is not everyone. I mean, it's James Mariansky, who used to be the chief of biotechnology in the FDA. And he recognized that this principle wasn't based on any scientific data. It was based on a political decision taken by the White House to push biotechnology in the world.
And I would say, quite frankly, we have no complaint about the way USDA is handling it. They're going through an orderly process. They're making sure that as they deal with these new things, they do them properly. And now, if we're waiting until September and we don't have our authorization, we may say something different.
Call me. We're in a dereg business.